to more breaking news coming in. This is with regards to the Supreme Court that's begun hearing Arvind Kejriwal's bail plea, challenging the High Court interim stay on the bail order, and that's taken up by the Supreme Court today. In fact, the court says that some hell will let loose if this person comes out is travesty of justice. That's what is being opined by the top court as we speak. Let me go across to my colleague Ananya joining us with more details. The hearing has begun already. Ananya, take us through, the arguments that have been presented already. What's going on in the Supreme Court?
Well, definitely, the Supreme Court doesn't seem to be inclined to grant a relief. The Supreme Court says that, if at all it passes an order at this particular point of time, then, there might be, the situation would be like to freeze at a particular issue. And that's when Mr. Chaudhary, who was appearing for, appearing for Mr. Kejriwal, stated that, if at all, Arvind Kejriwal is released on bail, then no hell would let loose. And if at all the ED thinks so, this would be completely a travesty of justice. So basically, Arvind Kejriwal's legal team pushing for, vacation of this interim stay that has been put on by the High Court. But at this particular point of time, the Supreme Court doesn't seem to be varying with the words of the legal team of Arvind Kejriwal, but we have to wait for some kind of a direction from the top court to come in. And in fact, very clearly and categorically at this particular point of time, Arvind Kejriwal's legal team putting in all it has to actually get that stay order vacated. However, the enforcement directorate pushing in for, in fact, the stay to continue and saying that, the High Court should actually hear this matter. It's a competent court that is dealing with that particular issue, and the Supreme Court should not actually intervene at this particular stage. Because remember that the order on the stay application filed by the enforcement directorate is to come out in the next few days. So we'll have to wait and watch as to how things pan out. But at this particular point of time, the hearing still continues. What will happen is something that only time will tell.
Okay, only time will tell. Though so far as the arguments have been put forth, you're telling us about some of the notings of the Supreme Court, some of the observations made by the top court already. What are the indications, Ananya? Because we've seen the top court earlier intervene. That, of course, was at a time that Arvind Kejriwal sought this sort of a relief because he had to campaign for the Lok Sabha elections. Okay, we'll just reconnect with Ananya. The Supreme Court hearing Arvind Kejriwal's plea challenging High Court's interim stay on the bail. The top court hearing this plea. Remember, this happened when the bail order was earlier granted by the trial court in the money laundering case pertaining to the liquor policy scam. But an interim stay by the Delhi High Court is now being challenged by Arvind Kejriwal's legal team, and that matter has been taken up by the top court. It was on Thursday, like I said, that Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court had granted bail to Arvind Kejriwal on a bail bond of 1 lakh rupees, which was to be furnished before the duty judge the next day. But the Delhi High Court the case in the Delhi High Court, Ananya, changed things for Arvind Kejriwal, and that's his contention in moving the Supreme Court. As the hearing is underway, arguments still being presented, I was meaning to ask you about the earlier relief that came in from the top court sent for Arvind Kejriwal, and that was at a different time when he was seeking this sort of a relief for campaigning in the Lok Sabha elections. What do we make of the arguments so far that are underway, though?
Definitely, the arguments still continue. The Solicitor General of India, Mr. Tushar Mehta, is currently addressing arguments on the behalf of the Enforcement Directorate. He goes on to say the court starts by saying, he's talking about the trial court where he says that, the court starts by saying that it's a high-profile case, which it's not. Every person is a common man before the court. The court tells the ED to cut short its argument. Not only this, it says that it does not have the time. So basically, the Solicitor General is pointing out the facets of that order, which the ED feels that is not correct. It's a little biased. Kejriwal's counsel are now objecting to these submissions, clearly saying that how can an order be passed like this is what the ASG has now questioned. So, serious arguments taking place before the Supreme Court, while the Supreme Court in the very beginning was not very inclined to actually give out any kind of relief at this particular stage, because the order on the stay application is to come out in the next few days, and the Supreme Court feels that, if at all it passed an order today, it would be like prejudging a particular issue, and that's exactly why.
Okay, that's one important takeaway of the observations made by the Supreme Court, that if we pass an order now, we will be prejudging the issue. To this, of course, Kejriwal's legal team has come out to opine that if he's not, given any sort of relief, that's going to be a travesty of justice. We're keeping a close watch on the arguments that are underway in the Supreme Court, and now we'll come back to you in just a bit. A quick break for now.